Hey there, I am here with your short and sweet, yet quite potent, straight to the point tarot card reading for your astrological sign for the month of October. So I'm doing things a little bit differently this time. And again, I am just doing very short and sweet tarot card spreads for each astrological sign this month. However, this does not mean that the message is any less powerful, any less potent. In fact, I think it's just more straight to the point. Sometimes when we have longer readings, especially generalized readings that we see, there can be so much information that the action can get lost. I'm someone that really actually wants my clients to listen to their reading, absorb it, and then take action. I want them to feel like they've had some thought or just something that they can now actually initiate action in their life with. And so again, that's kind of the power of a shorter spread, is it really, the information is very, very clear. The message is typically very potent, and it leaves you with this sense of, okay, I feel like I know what I need to do now. As I always say, I'm never going to tell you what to do. I truly believe that the power of tarot is you hearing the message that I am relaying to you, and then whatever inspired action comes to you, right? So whatever this brings up inside of you, that is your action. That is your action step. That is your message. That is what you are meant to hear. So without further ado, I've already pulled the spread for Aries. We are going to go in the order of the astrological signs, starting with Aries. So I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get into it. And you can just go ahead and skip ahead to your particular astrological sign if you are not an Aries. And also, as always, feel free to watch your sun, moon, and rising to really just get, a full in-depth message for October. All right. See you at your sign. Hey there, Aries. Here is your quick and dirty tarot card message for the month of October. Let's get into it. Just to remind you, the spread that I am using is a very simple spread called Stop, Start, Continue. So I'm going to show you each card and tell you what position it was in, and then, of course, give you the message that I am receiving with your cards. But just so you know, again, it's a very, very blunt, to the point spread of Stop, Start, Continue. Okay, so let's start with Stop. Immediately, Aries, I had to laugh at this one for you. So we have the Emperor in the stop position. Very much to me, this was this idea of needing to be in complete control all the time, needing to make sure that every detail is worked out, that you have thought of every different thing at every different angle. What are all the different directions that this could go, right? It's like this over preparedness. It is like this, I am on top of absolutely everything all the time. And there's a bit of sense of like, because I know how to do it best, right? I want to be clear, Aries, I'm a Virgo. I think we're actually pretty similar, even though I know I'm an earth element and you are a fire element. I think we're very similar signs, right? We like to get SHIT done. I have to be careful what I say on here. We have, we're go-getters. We don't like to mess around. We like to get things done. We have a very clear plan of things. We know the way that we want things done, right? Like we're very, very determined people, and the Emperor represents that masculine energy, that get things done, that, very much like organized, being in control. But this is in the stop position for you, Aries. And as we move into October, I'm really getting a sense that there's a bit of a softer side that needs to come in. And what's interesting is I'm gonna move into our start position for you, because we have the Magician here along with the Eight of Wands reversed. I felt when I pulled these cards out, they actually were stuck together. So I'm like, okay, clearly they're meant to go together. So it's very much kind of this message here of creating and allowing yourself to create for you, allowing yourself to be messy where it's okay to be messy. So this Eight of Wands reversed to me is like, I think you've wanted to do some different things, kind of broaden your horizons, but there's a little bit of fear of, again, it not being perfect, it not, you not having it all figured out, right? I think you're kind of like, if I don't know exactly how this is all going to go, then I don't know if I can commit to it. I don't know if I should take action on it. And in fact, I think this is kind of in this month of October, you get to kind of play with, where do I, where do I care about all the details and all of the nuances of things? And where do I get to just let things go and experiment and play and have fun? And also, like, where do I care and where do I not care? Or where do I get to let other people care, right? Also, this stop with the emperor, to me, there's a little bit of an element here of allowing people to come in and help you. I know you might be cringing a little bit as I say that, but what are some things that you can offload so that you, again, can kind of start to try new things? I'm curious if you've had just like kind of a variety of new projects and ideas that you've had simmering, but you just haven't really taken action on yet because you're afraid, or not even afraid. I don't think afraid is actually the right word. It's more that just like, you're like, well, I don't know all the details, so I can't do it. You're not going to know all the details. You're not going to know all the details, Aries. And that's okay. In October, I think this is your time to play and kind of blur the lines. This stopping with the emperor, it's that idea of blurring the lines. We have this Prince of Swords. This is in your continue position. And so for me, Aries, when I see this Prince of Swords, I kind of think of this kind of like awkward baby animal, right? I don't know why I'm trying to think of like the specific animal, but like an animal that's kind of like learning how to walk, right? And they're like, so like even like a cute little puppy, like they're kind of stumbling around, they're figuring things out. Or even more, if we think about like specifically this Prince of Swords kind of metaphor, we might think of like a young teenage boy, right, in the Middle Ages or something, and he was learning how to use his sword, and he obviously doesn't have the finesse of, the more experienced knights, or, the people that are older than him, right? He's still trying to kind of figure it out. I think you're trying to figure out how you want to live your life, Aries, what's important to you, where you want to put your energy, where you don't want to put your energy. I feel like I've gotten this message for you ever since I've started reading for the astrological signs. I feel like I've kept getting this message of like, you're kind of trying to figure out what's important to you, what's not, where your priority is, where it's not. And just like, yeah, trying to sort it all out in your head. Where does your energy go? Because you do have so much energy and you do just like, you're so dedicated to things, but obviously everyone has a limit of how much they can give. So I think in October, this is the time, right, to start throwing some spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks. Also starting to realize what you care about, what is worth putting your very much emperor energy into, right? All of your concentration and dedication, that is a really finite resource and a very valuable resource that not everyone has. So are you kind of throwing your energy into the wrong places? I think October is where you get to experiment, figure out what really matters to you, and then start to kind of cut the fat and really hone in on where you actually want to spend your time and your energy. Okay. All right, Aries, I hope you have a wonderful October. Comment below how this resonated, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hey there, Taurus. Whew. This is quite a message for you this month of October. Full transparency, I pulled a spread for you, and I don't know. I guess I didn't fully trust it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to reshuffle with a different deck. And I kid you not, I got almost the same exact cards. In fact, the middle card here is the same card that I got in the middle in the other deck for the other spread, my first spread I did for you. The message is still the same. It is loud and clear. And I love when the same cards show up with different decks because A, how completely freaky is that? And B, it just shows this is definitely the message for you, Taurus. So let's get into it. I did a stop, start, continue spread. I'm saying this to every sign. So if you've heard this, I'm sorry. But I just want to be clear that I'm using a stop, start, continue spread. And basically what that means is well, you know what, we're gonna go through it and you'll see what it means. But I just wanted to let you know that that's kind of the general spread that I am using here for this, you know, quick, to the point, concise reading for you, Taurus, for the month of October. Taurus, I said it's loud and clear and simple, and it really is. We have the Seven of Wands here in your stop position. And I actually want to show you what is in your start position as well, because they go together so much that I think it's important to show both before I explain. So in your start position of your spread, you have the Devil. Do not let this scare you. It is not a scary card. It's definitely a little bit of an intense energy in this deck, but let me get into this and explain it to you. Taurus, there, I truly believe, is a deep, deep, deep yearning inside of you to do life differently. You are a rule follower, right? You are someone that takes the correct steps to, you know, get that gold star, essentially, right? You, I really think, have some fear around stepping outside of the boundaries, blurring the lines, not following the rules, not following the path that you're supposed to follow. When I shuffled your spread before this that I decided to redo, you had the Hierophant reverse come up. And the Hierophant is very much about the traditions of life, the traditional ways of doing things, the institutions that we follow, right? So the traditional education system, kind of the more traditional paths that are supposed to be our path to success. But it's reversed, right? And I want to bring it up because I think it's a part of this message for you. I really think I was meant to shuffle this twice and kind of see that as well, because I think there's something here about you followed the path, right? You followed the Hierophant path. You followed the path that was supposed to lead to success, happiness, all of it. And I think you're looking for more. You're realizing that that perfect equation isn't adding up for you, and success looks different, right? This is kind of the more of like success as an inside job. The Devil here is this double-edged sword, right? Of the Devil can mean habits that we kind of habitually fall into, right? They can be good, they can be bad. I think it's more about looking at what are the things that you're habitually doing, and are they actually leading to your happiness, or are you just doing them because you've been told you should do them, right? We have the Seven of Wands here. If you look, he is literally throwing away, he's kind of pushing away these other wands. So we have 6 wands that he's pushing away, and he's holding on to his. I think this is what you want to do, Taurus. I don't know if you feel that you have the confidence to do so, or not even, I don't even know if confidence is the right word. I think you just don't know who am I to do this? Who am I to, you know, be like, no, I'm not doing this anymore, right? It's just really such a foreign concept, I think, for you. But I think you have this really deep, like your deepest fantasy, right, is to just, like, I think, completely flip the table on your life and do things totally differently. Taurus, I don't want this to scare you. In the month of October, I don't think that you have to like quit your job, move, you know, to like do all these crazy things, right? I don't think you have to like completely transform your life. I do think, though, right, in this start position, the Devil, you get to start looking at what things are you habitually doing every day that are just because you're supposed to. And what are things that you would actually want to do every day? What are things that you want to put into your routine, but you don't because you feel like you shouldn't, right? Again, it's pushing away others' opinions of your creation of your life. And I know that you have this little, but I think it's like little but mighty, like tingle inside of you of, I want to be rebellious. I want to do things differently. But your kind of default mode is following the path, right? And you're really good at that, Taurus. And I think you've seen a lot of kind of worldly, on the surface success. But I do think this month of October is an invitation to start looking at like what in my life is not really a choice. It's not an actual conscious choice that I am making for my happiness, right? Also looking at what does success mean to you? your continue card here, we have the Page of Cups. So if you look, it's this childlike figure kind of looking into this magical box, like just exploring, being open to what might be in there, right? It's a curiosity. Can you get curious in October about what success really means to you, what you really care about in your life? It's funny, kind of a similar message for Aries this month. I really, really think there is some work to be done around making, new habits, new patterns, new routines that are more in line with the life that you actually want to create. And you want to create out of your own desire, right? Instead of this is the path that is supposed to be followed, right? For success. So how do we flip that on its head a little bit, Taurus? What matters to you? I think this month of October, you get to do a little bit of looking at what actually do I care about and how do I bring more of that into my life. Thank you so much for watching this, Taurus. Hope it resonated. Comment below what you're taking away from this, what you plan to take action on in October, and I will talk to you soon. Hey there, Gemini. Oh my gosh, I love this message for you. It is just it's so you. I feel like I love this. It feels very kind of tongue in cheek, almost like very kind of like I told you so. And I love it. I love it. I love it. So just really quick, again, I'm doing a little bit of a different reading for you guys this month of October. This is a really short and sweet reading where I'm picking 3 cards, one for the stop position, one for the start position, and one for the continue position of the month of October. Spoiler alert, I did pick 2 cards for one of the sections, but we'll get to that. All right, so Gemini, we have your start card here. And I'm sorry. Let me take that back. We have your stop card here. And I love this. I think you're going to laugh at this. So Gemini, we have the stop. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Literally what this said to me is stop second guessing your luck and also stop seeing that it's luck. Everything that you are experiencing and whatever is coming to fruition, whatever is happening for you in your life is not just luck. And you know that it's the result of certain actions and choices that you have made. I think you're getting people that are kind of reflecting to you like, oh, you're just so lucky, must be nice. I would not be surprised if you've been hearing a lot of that, Gemini. A lot of like, must be nice. Oh, you're just so lucky. It's like, no, I've made these conscious choices to get here. Also, though, I think there may be a little bit element too of a fear of questioning it. Is this too good to be true? Right? Remember that life is cyclical. I'm sure a hard time is ahead at some point. That might mean in 5, 10, 15 years. That might mean tomorrow. It also might mean that tomorrow is not a great day. Like something might happen, right? Like I've had so many car issues. I'm thinking your car might break down, right? But also remember that doesn't take away from all of the other good things that are in your life currently that again you've created. So I think this is really a mindset thing for you in October is just kind of remembering that again, I really do think you're maybe getting some criticism, or not even criticism, but just people kind of with those snarky like must be nice to be you. And no, Gemini, you've worked really hard to get here and it's not just luck. And also you will continue to have good luck in your life as long as you stay hardworking, motivated, and doing all the things that you've been doing up until this point. Doesn't mean your life's going to be perfect. You're going to have issues, of course. But if you stay strong to the energy that you've put in so far, you're going to stay on the right side of things, right? Like you are lucky, Gemini, because you've created your own luck. This start card for you it's just literally piggybacks on what I just said. We have this 10 of coins here. This is about gratitude. This is about looking back on your life, looking what is in front of you. And I want you to, I don't know if you do this, Gemini, and I would really invite you to do this if you don't. Looking at everything that you have and kind of thinking like, oh my gosh, I didn't have this a year ago, or I wished for this a year ago, or like, how amazing is it that I've made this happen? Really kind of like, I would actually maybe walk around where you're living or make a list, like be a little bit intentional with your gratitude focus in this October. And I don't think it's because of any reason other than you need to start giving yourself more credit for what you've done, Gemini, in your life. This is really the time. I mean, I think these cards are saying this is a time to just revel in your hard work and enjoy what you've created. We also have, though, this Fool reverse card along with the Five of Cups reversed. And to me, what this immediately said is, Gemini, keep taking risks. Keep doing these crazy things that everyone is, again, giving their 2 cents about. Like, is that really a good idea? Should you really be doing that? Yes, Gemini, you have a really good track record. Just keep trusting it. And this Five of Cups reversed here is, I think it's almost like focusing on, I don't even know if tuning those voices out is enough, because it might be, I think like this Five of Cups is kind of saying reverse. I think it's kind of saying you might have people that are having you second guess your decisions, and those aren't helpful people to have in your life. This feels like I'm almost kind of, what is the word? Like I'm being like this reading is so positive that it almost feels like it's a bit of toxic positivity, but it's not, Gemini, for you, because here's the thing. It hasn't been easy for you, and you've worked really hard to get to where you are in life. And I think that now you get to make some decisions around, whose advice you want to listen to and whose guidance you want to listen to. Doesn't mean you cut them out of your life. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means maybe you don't tell everyone all the details. Maybe it just means, you kind of cut conversations short sometimes, where you start to see it going in a direction where you start to doubt yourself. It is important to be open to other people's opinions, criticism, ideas, things like that, of course. But Gemini, you're really, really smart. You've gotten yourself to this great place in your life. So trust when you know if advice or a conversation is helpful or if it's really not. And I think in October, you get to figure out ways to kind of dip out of those conversations, or maybe kind of just limit those conversations. Also, Gemini, I really just think these cards want to tell you you're doing an amazing job, and it's not just luck. You've created the luck in your life, okay? You've taken your resources and done something with it. So please, 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 just celebrate yourself for that, okay, Gemini? Have an awesome October. I think it's just going to be a great time for you, and I love that for you. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey there, Cancer. How are you? So we have your quick and to the point tarot card reading for the month of October. Let's get into it. The way that I'm doing the spread for this month of October is I'm doing what is called a stop, start, continue spread. It is a really, again, just like to the point spread, which I love because I feel like you can get a really clear message and actually take action from it. Cancer, I pulled the stop, start, continue for you, but then I also felt like I needed another card to kind of give some context. And I'm going to show that card to you first. So we have the Five of Wands here. In Cancer, I feel like this has been your personal battle ever since I've been reading for you. And if you look, this card, this Five of Wands, is very much a card of conflict. It is a card of, if you kind of see this fiery red and yellow, it's a very kind of, it feels almost like kind of industrial, or like a factory, like it's kind of high intensity and it's not necessarily positive, right? And what's coming up here, Cancer, for you is just too many, what is the word? What is the phrase? Too many something in the fire. Can somebody help me in the comments? Too many something in the fire. What though? What is in the fire? But I think that's exactly it, Cancer, is I think there's just so much, you're getting so many people and energies and things involved in everything that you're doing. Your decisions, your activities, your work, your life, like your home life, like whatever is happening, you are just wanting to like welcome everyone and like get everyone involved and everyone's opinions are welcomed. And that is appropriate for some situations, right? There are definitely some situations where like everyone's opinion needs to be welcomed and needs to be heard. There's definitely situations where that is the case. However, your personal life and your personal happiness and choices and career moves and relationship situations and whatever, right, is not one of those places, Cancer. You are not a board meeting, right? You are a person, and you're an individual. And when it comes to decisions in your life that are really about your individual happiness, your individual well-being, those are individual decisions. And getting the opinions of people is really important. But again, it has to be appropriate. It has to be appropriate. Cancer, it's interesting because if we look at your stop card, so the card that came up in the stop position for you, we have this 9 of Cups here reversed. And it's funny because I think, again, it's this idea of wanting to kind of have everyone sit at the table with you, right? And because I think you're such a loving person and you do really appreciate people and you appreciate the people in your life, right? But I think the thing about the reverse is just being aware of you can actually still have everyone at the table of your life, but they can come for different parts of the meal. Some can come for the appetizer, some can come for the first course, some can come for the second, the third, some can come for, dessert, right? Somebody can just come for a glass of wine. I'm really getting this message for you of the month of October. I think you get to practice when you get who you bring into what situation. So if you're talking about your career, who do you really respect in their career path? And maybe they are the people to bring into that conversation. But maybe people that have a really messy career life but are great in their romantic relationships, maybe you don't talk to them about career, but you do talk to them about romantic relationships. So you don't have to invite every single person in your life to every single dinner party. Does that make sense? Is that resonating? Let me know in the comments. We also have this Queen of Coins reversed here. This is in your start position. So Queen of Coins reversed, just this idea of, I kind of think really what this is both knowing when you actually have enough tools to make a decision on your own. I really, really, again, kind of what I'm hearing actually for this month of October is, can you challenge yourself to make one decision where you don't ask anyone their opinion? No one. You and you only are the decision maker. That might be something that's very uncomfortable for you. And you can start more low stakes, right? You don't have to like start super high stakes with like, this could be kind of a more minor decision, but can you start to build that muscle and also see like what resources you already have available to you? And when I say resources, like what knowledge do you already have? Maybe you're just not practicing it, right? Because you're kind of relying on others to come in. And again, there is a place to also know. I think that's why this Queen of Coins came up reversed is, yes, there are some times where you are more than equipped to figure something out. And then there's also times where it is more than appropriate to also know the resources around you. And it's kind of figuring out that distinction. We have this Queen of Swords reversed, which is the continue position. So I think it's continuing to kind of figure out your place in the world, and also really, again, making wise choices of who you're going to for what, how you're handling different things. I think you have this 5 of Wands that came up at the beginning because I think you're like getting yourself into like, you're kind of, you're making decisions or you're getting people involved, different decisions or different conversations in your life. And then you're like, shoot, like, why did I get all these? Like, then it just feels more confusing, more conflicting. And I actually think that you're not giving yourself credit, or maybe you're not fully trusting your knowing of who you should be getting involved, who you shouldn't be getting involved, and just really trusting that. I think this Queen of Swords is really saying you can still be a loving person, and like, again, a queen, very much feminine energy, someone that is like, I know she wasn't queen, but we think of Princess Diana, right? She's so loving, she's so kind, she was such an icon. You get to still be someone that is very, very much, again, loving and gentle and kind and all of those things. And you get to just logistically know that, some things, you might not need help with certain things, or other things you might only want to ask certain people about, right? It's also about really kind of creating less complication in your life. I feel like you're feeling a lot of overwhelm and complication when you start to kind of make these choices of who you're getting involved with what things, or what decisions you're making, right? Or just making quicker decisions, even if you can. Not all the time, right? But if it's appropriate and you're like, okay, I'm dragging this out, I need to just make a decision, I need to practice trusting myself. How does that contribute to less stress for you? Okay. Oh, Cancer. Wow. You're going through you're doing some work right now. You're figuring things out, but it's all really good. And I think you're just kind of practicing in this month of October. And I love that for you. So, yeah, keep me in the loop, Cancer. Comment below how this resonated, what you're taking away from this. And I will see you in November. I cannot believe that it's going to be November. Okay. Wow. I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hey there, Leo. Here is your message for October. Wow, Leo. Got a lot going on here. All good though. All good. But wow, quite intense energy. I actually pulled 5 cards for you. I'm doing a very simple spread of stop, start, continue, typically only pulling 3 cards, 1 for each position, but pulled 2 cards for 2 out of the 3 categories for you. Let's get into it, Leo. Okay. Leo, I actually want to start with the metaphor, or kind of the imagery that came to my mind before I show you the cards. So, you know how if you have flown in an airplane before, it obviously takes so much energy to get that however many ton plane off the ground, right? This is why I'm terrified of flying because I'm like, I know there's physics behind it, right? I know there's science behind it logically, but I'm like, how is it possible that this plane, this massive, extremely heavy plane, is somehow just flying into the air? And as my boyfriend, I've literally asked my boyfriend this before. I've like brought this up to him before, and he's like, well, jet fuel, duh. And I'm like, of course, right? And that's kind of you, Leo. It's like jet fuel, duh. That's how I got here, because I just freaking hit it hard, right? I put it all, like, it's like all systems go, right? When a plane is taking off, it is taking the most energy probably of the entire flight experience. Well, it is taking the most energy of the entire flight experience. Then you're doing that takeoff, right? The takeoff can quite frequently be very bumpy, kind of be like, oh gosh, like what's going on here, right? You actually feel like you're kind of moving through jello, and it is quite uncomfortable sometimes. It, again, can be a very bumpy experience, but then eventually the pilot gets it to an altitude where it is smooth sailing. That's where you are in October. Now that I've taken a few minutes to explain that metaphor for you, Leo, that's what's going on here for you. You have been going through the atmosphere with your jet fuel. It has been bumpy. It has been crazy. You have wondered, are we going to make it? Do we have enough fuel, right? Do we have enough momentum? And the answer is yes. You're at the cruising altitude now. And I think that's like literally quite simply your message for October, is that you get to just kind of be at the cruising altitude. And then also there's no more energy input to be had right now. If you think about a plane, again, it's going into the descent. Really, like they're not putting more energy into that, right? It is literally just descending down. these cards for you are essentially saying just that. So we have the suit of wands here, which is the fire suit, which is very much a suit of energy, momentum, making things happen. Remember, I said you have 5 cards. 4 of them are wands. Like if I show this to you, it's all wands. Like it is, you have crazy, crazy momentous energy happening right now. And it's actually enough. And we're gonna get there. Okay. But let's kind of talk about these different card positions for a second. So we have stop here, and we have the 7 of swords, and then we have the 9 of pentacles. Immediately what this said to me is you questioning yourself, is this enough? Have I done enough? Is it enough? Are we good? Do I need to do more? Kind of questioning. Yeah, I mean, just simply questioning, have I done enough? Is this enough? Are we good? Is there any last little things I could do? Do I need to do a little bit more? Do I need to backtrack? Do I need to redo something? The answer is no. It came up in the stop position for a reason. No, it's good and you know it. We have in the start position the 9 of wands. The 9 of wands sometimes can kind of show up as like almost an exhausted energy. It can be an energy of just really being kind of at the end of your rope because you've done so much, because you've put so much work in. But for this, I think it's almost more of an overqualification, or like you have more than enough reasons to say we're good. I have checked all my boxes and then rechecked them and then rechecked them again. um I really think you you might just be needing to hear this right now, because it's been, I think you're like kind of running this what feels like a marathon, and you're kind of coming to the finish line, or honestly like you are at the finish line. But here's the thing, I think there's also an element where it's like you've built enough momentum that you get to just coast now. We have this 4 of wands energy in the continue. So this is basically like the stability that you have created, right? And then we have this Knight of Wands reversed, which is very much like if you keep doubting, right? That's the message here. If you keep doubting, have I done enough? Have I done enough? Do I need to do more? Do I need to recheck my work? Do I need, like, I'm really getting this sense that there's a little bit of nervousness, anxiousness around, have I done enough? Do I need to redo anything or do something more? And it's almost like you're at a breaking point, that if you keep trying to go back, fix things, redo things, question things, do more things, you're actually going to throw yourself out of balance. It's like if that plane, right, just kept going up. Like it was at 32,000 feet, and then it was like at 40, and then it was at 50. It's like, whoa, you're out of the atmosphere now. Like people are not going to be able to breathe, right? You can't do that, right? The plane has to eventually stop at a certain altitude. So do you, right? Or else people are not going to be able to breathe. It's not going to be safe. So you're good. Can you trust your systems? Can you trust, right? Like how we're taught to trust the pilots, right? And we should trust the pilots because they've had endless amounts of training. We should trust the plane because they inspect the plane every single time before it leaves whatever airport it's at, right? So we need to trust the systems. Can you trust your systems? And can you know that if you keep pushing it, if you keep trying to go, add more, do more, fix, keep adding that continuous energy, it's actually going to screw things up. October's your time to just, okay, we've done it. We've set it up. Now we ride it out. Now we work our system. Okay. Now we let things work. Leo, that's my message for you today. I hope that you take that and run with it. I think that's a beautiful thing. You've worked hard for that. So enjoy it. Comment below how that landed, and I'll see you for the next reading. Bye. Hey there, Virgo, fellow Virgo here. I have our reading for the month of October. Again, I've been kind of telling every sign, and I'll say it again, that I am using a spread that is very short, sweet, and to the point. But I kind of just felt like that's what we needed this month for the month of October. I didn't want any sort of confusion about what the message was for you. So again, this message is short, sweet, and clear, but I think very powerful and gonna actually give you some things to think about and some action steps to take in October. So the spread that I'm using is a stop, start, continue spread. So we have a card in each placement for stop, start, continue. And then I did pull 2 additional cards for us, Virgo. I'm just feeling a lot of things for us. I did the same for Leo in the Leo reading that I just did before. So, okay, let's see what comes up for us, Virgo. When we look at the stop position here, we have the Queen of Earth, which I find really interesting because I always find it interesting when you can basically find a positive or negative, right? Positive or negative, quote unquote, spin on every card. There's definitely cards that have a more negative connotation, and there's definitely cards that are very, very positive and would kind of be hard to find negativity in them. The Queen of Earth is actually one of those where it just feels like such a positive card, and typically I read it in a very positive way. This is always a really affirming card for people, and I feel really good about it. Now, I do think in a way this represents us Virgos, right? This Queen of Earth energy. First and foremost, Virgo is an earth element, right? We are an earth sign. And so there's a groundedness to us, again, with this Queen of Earth. So it makes sense, right? And I do think, again, the queen energy of kind of just like all knowing, like having wisdom, having grace, having experience, getting stuff done, right? That is very much Virgo energy. However, this is coming up in the stop position. So we have to think about that a little bit. And some of the words that are on this card, this deck will put some like keywords on the card. And we have practical and capable. I want to think about that, like with the stop card for us, Virgo, this practical and capable. Really what it's saying to me is that we don't always have to be the go-to person. We don't always have to be the capable one. We don't always have to be the practical one. What would happen if we actually took that responsibility off of us and laid it on other people? I will say, me personally, this is something that is still very, very, very difficult for me. It's something that I've been practicing for years, kind of this idea of receiving, which is interesting because in our start position, we have the 6 of water, which can sometimes very much be interpreted as a give and take, and an even give and take because there's 6 cups, right? So 3 and 3, kind of this reciprocal energy. I think, this is an ongoing lesson for us, Virgo. This isn't just the month of October. I think this is something where it's really like a lifelong lesson for us. This is not something that's going to be wrapped in a bow after a month. However, in the start, we have this 6 of water. And if you look at the words here, it says memories, childhood, nostalgia. Immediately what came up for me as I saw this card is playfulness, is finally doing those things that you've always wanted to do. Be that person that you wanted to be when you were a little kid. Those dreams, those fantasies, those, things that you maybe you always wanted to take ice skating lessons, but you never got to. Like those kind of things, right? This is the time to be a little bit risky, a little bit playful. And really, how do you do that, right? You take the reins off a little bit. You see what happens when you let go of the control. And I think you might be watching this, Virgo, and you might be like, well, how? I have a business to run, or I have a job to do, or I have bills to pay, or I have kids to take care of, or I have a house to manage, or whatever, right? Like Virgos are very much like, but you don't get it. I can't do that. I can't just go mess around. But we have this card here. This is an additional card that I pulled right off to the side for some additional guidance for us. We have this 9 of fire. And the words on here, I want to read all these words to you because I think they're so good. We have protection, preparedness, and resilience. But I really want to focus on the protection and the preparedness. So first off, practicing this idea that you are protected on a greater level, trusting, having faith, right? This is a time to practice faith. What would happen if I just did the thing that was better for me? What would happen if I did this thing for me, if I honored this thing that I want to do? You know, I'm thinking for me personally, I have something in October where I want to pursue some art that I've been wanting to create, and I'm going to have to take some time out. And, you know, that means maybe not making money in other areas of my life, but ultimately I would like to sell this art. And this art is really fulfilling, like, something deep inside of me, right? I would say, like, something from my childhood where I wanted to create, where I wanted to be an artist. And in order to do that, I have to have just a little bit of faith. I have to take a little bit of a risk. I have to step off the ledge a little bit and just trust that it's going to work out. But again, I'm a Virgo. So, you know, I have a plan. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make this many things, right? And I'm going to do this festival and this festival, and this is where I'm going to sell these things. We're not haphazard people, right? Like, if you're watching this, Virgo, you're not going to do this willy-nilly. So whatever your kind of, whatever like little passion project, right? And I don't want to say little, because that sounded kind of degrading, and it didn't mean to come out that way. It's just more of like whatever little nudge is really the better way to put it. I think you're kind of getting these ideas or these hints or these feelings or things that you want to do. Whatever that is, can you trust that it's there for a reason and that you get to dip your toe into it, but you are prepared enough that you're not going to just, you know, completely lose yourself in it or do anything irresponsible. That's the thing about Virgos. We think about everything. So that can you trust that you're prepared to go into this, right? We also have this Strength card. This was just an extra card that I pulled. A Strength reversed. Again, I think it is literally saying you do not always have to be the one that is carrying everything. This is a lifelong lesson for us, Virgo. This is not something where you're going to have an epiphany in October and you're never going to want to like control everything and micromanage everything ever again, right? No, I think that's actually our, that is our skill set, right? That is our strength. Is like, speaking of the Strength card, right? That is our asset, is that we think of everything. We're very prepared. We're very independent. We figure things out. So whatever you're playing with, can you trust that you will figure it out no matter what, right? So you can take risks because you are amazing at making things happen. That's what you get to do in this month of October, is you get to finally dip your toe into the things that you've, like, look at this little girl. She's dreaming. She's thinking about something. What is that thing that you've been thinking about, that you've been wanting to explore? This is the month to do it. Virgo, I'm going to leave you with that message because I don't want to add anything else to it. Again, I wanted to keep these really short, sweet, to the point. Again, Virgo, it is a lifelong lesson for us of letting go of the reins, accepting help, not putting it all on our shoulders. You're not going to figure that out in the month of October, even in the next year, right? That's a lifelong thing for us, I truly believe. But what you can start to figure out is, how do you get to expand your soul? How do you get to, you know, dip into parts of yourself that are yearning to come out and express yourself, right? Allow yourself to just come out and express yourself and enjoy your life. Okay. Love you so much, Virgo. Comment below what resonated the most, what you're taking away from this, and I will see you at the next reading. Oh, Libra, I swear the cards are never easy on you. They just give it to you straight every single time. It is so funny because, you know, I love, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know, I love my Libras. I have so many Libras in my life. It is ridiculous. I have so many good friends that are Libras. But I'm telling you, here's the thing. I think Libras are just like so sweet, kind. Like, I've never met a mean Libra. But these cards are not nice to you. I just think they give you the tough love that you need, right? They're just giving it to you straight. And here's the thing also about a Libra, I feel like you guys always take it. You're like, yeah, about that. So I love you all so much, Libras. You are some of my favorites, and let's just get into your reading, okay? So as I've told every single sign, if this is repetitive, I'm sorry if you watched your moon or rising sign. The way that we're doing this for the month of October, I just wanted these to be short and sweet. So we have our stop, start, continue. spread. And so basically there's a card for each: stop, start, continue. It is really as straightforward as it sounds. And again, these cards are not messing around with you, Libra. They like to keep it real. So we have our stop, and I feel like you guys are going to crack up when I show you this. We have the Six of Earth. And let me just read the words on here to you: charity, generosity, and windfall. Yeah, so Libra, this is literally like, you do not have to be the philanthropist for every single person in your life. And I don't just mean a financial philanthropist, right? I mean an emotional philanthropist. I mean, right? Like a physical, like, let me do things for you. Let me like be your shoulder to cry on. Hey, I'll loan you $20 while I'm at it, right? In Libra, I know, again, I feel like this is one of your lifelong lessons, is that equal energy exchange, which again, the six kind of talks about equality as well, because it's like 3 and 3, it's an even number. It could be 2, 2, 2, 3 and 3. It's very much this idea of kind of this balance, this even energy exchange. If you look at this, these coins are evenly surrounding her, but she's also just like presenting them in front of her. And here's the thing. I know that you guys might be like, okay, we get this message all the time. I get it, I get it, I get it, but this is who I am. The thing about this stop position, I really truly believe, is it's just saying, can you just stop for now? Can you just stop for now? Can you kind of maybe cut yourself off to the world in whatever ways you're needing to do some of the inner work, which we're going to get into in the next two cards. But seeing these cards together, that's what it is to me. It's not saying like you never get to be your Libra self again and be generous and loving and kind and helpful and all of the things that you are and the reasons why we love our Libras, right? But I think there needs to be an ability to turn it off so that there is time for you to do some of the work that you need to do, so that it is an even exchange, right? So that you're giving, but you're also receiving and feeling good about how your life is working out, right? Like, how are you doing, Libra? I don't care how other people are doing right now. I care about how are you doing. How often are you asking yourself that? I know you're always asking other people, how are you doing? What's going on with you? When's the last time you asked yourself that, Libra? So in the start position, we have the moon reversed. Literally what this said to me is start having the damn hard conversations with yourself. Start facing the things you don't want to face. Start putting yourself out there. Honestly, what's coming up to me is sign up for that therapist that you've been wanting to sign up with, or sign up for that, I'm kidding. I'm kind of getting like, it's some sort of support that you've been thinking about getting, whether it's a coach, whether it's a therapist, whether it's some sort of like group or class or something like that, but what comes along with it, right, is having to face the dark side of the moon, right? It is, it's going to tap into parts of you that are easier to kind of to cover up. It's an invite to do that. Honestly, we're stepping into a season where kind of being a hermit, kind of going inward, exploring other sides of yourself, it's like more than appropriate, right? People like to hermit away at this time. And I really, really think that what a better time to do this, Libra. I know you're all cringing as I say this. We have on this card, the words on this card is intuition, illusion, and revelation, excuse me. We also have here, if you look, there's a wolf who's just being obedient and looking at the woman. And then we have a wolf who's howling. So I kind of think there's a message here of figuring out, like, unleashing your wild a little bit. I know that's kind of a cliche term. I feel like there's a book, and I've never read it, but my tarot card reader, or my tarot card teacher and reader, the person that introduced me to tarot, is obsessed with it. It is called, I think, The Women Who Run with Wolves, or Women, I would search Women Who Run with Wolves. I feel like you need to read that, Libra. I feel like this is a little bit about liberation, kind of this time, I think is, and so whatever, again, like I'm really getting kind of a message of, in October, you need to sign up for that thing that you know that you need to sign up for. And that's going to kind of help you unleash some of these desires, some of these things that you're wanting to do, this other side. It might not even be, it's kind of just like another side of you. I'm really getting, I think you're very clear on your outwardness. I think you kind of know how you outwardly present. I think October is a time to kind of go into your desires. That's the thing about the moon. The moon is very much a primal, like this card brings up a lot of primal energy, inner desires, your wild side, like those little fantasies that you have. What are those things? And again, I think you have something in mind that you've been wanting to do. October is the time to do it. Then we have the continue card, which is the 9 of Earth. And we have contentment, luxury, and independence. Independence is what stood out to me for this one for you. This is about creating your own world and being comfortable in your own world. Being comfortable in the life that you create. Because at the end of the day, you came into this world alone and you're going to leave alone. So do you like the life that you have? Do you like the company that you keep? Right? Do you like the company of yourself? Do you like what you're surrounding yourself with? Again, it takes a little bit of turning off the faucet of giving to get clear on what your personal landscape looks like, because the giving can be a distraction. So what does that look like for you, Libra? How do you kind of step away from the giving of yourself? And what do you need to focus on in this October? I think I think you kind of just needed someone to ask you and then be like, hey, you need to go do that. So if you're comfortable, comment below. Let us know, Libra. What are you going to go work on this October? What are you going to go sign up for, get involved with? What are you going to go work on? I'd love to know. All right. Thank you so much, Libra. Love to you always. I will talk to you soon. Hey there, Scorpio. Here is your reading for October. I've been telling every single sign this. I will tell you this as well. I'm sorry if it's repetitive, if you've watched other signs, but I want to make sure everyone knows what's going on. So we have a very simple spread today where I'm asking the cards stop, start, continue. And I'm going to show you what card is in each position for you. So again, this is a very straightforward, to the point reading. And I really wanted to do that again, just so you could get some real actionable information from this reading. Okay, let's get into it, Scorpio. Scorpio, I do think I want to go ahead and show you this first card. This is in the stop position. We have the sun in the stop position, which is interesting because the sun is definitely one of those cards that has a very kind of just most of the time, right, positive connotation. It is it's actually, in my mind, one of the most positive cards in the deck, if not the most positive card, in my opinion. Every time I get the sun, I'm like, yay, this is awesome. This is great news. Now, it's not that it's bad news for you, Scorpio, but it is coming up in the stop position. What immediately it said to me was toxic positivity, was kind of acting like everything's fine when it's not, putting on a brave face, not saying things are not okay, right? Just acting like really just bypassing, spiritual bypassing, and just general bypassing of the reality of situations. Now, I'm saying this in terms of you and this hurting you. I really think what this is saying is stop acting like everything is sunshine and rainbows when it is not. And not in the way of, belittling yourself, right? I mean this of being honest with situations, with other people, right? Telling your, for lack of a better phrase, I kind of don't like when people use this phrase, but telling your truth, telling what you are experiencing, sharing what you're experiencing, or if it's, in a certain situation, taking action and making decisions from this truthful place. So really, I do wonder if there's just been a bit of toxic toxic positivity on your end, or bypassing where you're like, it's fine, everything's great. And like, just almost forcing yourself to find the silver lining instead of just being really truthful around what is happening. Okay, so Scorpio, in the start position for you, we have this Ace of Air, and it's reversed. And if you look at it, we have this little boy. His face doesn't necessarily look discouraged. He looks like he is kind of just very much aware that he needs to keep walking. He's walking in the cold. He's bundled up. He's probably still a little chilly, right? And he's carrying this big heavy sword, but ultimately he knows, right, that this is what he needs to do. It's coming up reversed here. And I really think it's just about finally having the conversations that you need to have. Also knowing that it's not going to feel great, but you're going to live, right? You're going to make it through it. It's kind of like when we're so uncomfortable, right? So if we're like super cold, or we're super hot, or we're super hungry, or we're super tired, and we're like, oh my God, like sometimes you literally feel like, am I gonna make it, right? Like I am so hungry. I don't even know. Like, how can I, maybe you're on a road trip and you're not going to get to a restaurant for an hour. Like, I don't know if I could survive. It's like, of course, like if we were in a more kind of logical state of things, we would know, of course you would be fine, right? But when you're in so much discomfort, it's almost like your logistics and or your logical brain kind of just goes out the window. You can't really think clearly anymore because you're so kind of uncomfortable, out of your element, hyperstimulated, right? I think you need to remember this, Scorpio, as you go into October and maybe start to make some of the changes that you know that you need to make in order to really just be truthful about your life and your situation and what you really want. It's not going to be comfortable, and that doesn't mean it's wrong, right? It doesn't mean that it's wrong, but the conversations still need to be had. The actions still need to be taken. And you can handle it, right? So the other thing is like, he's carrying this really heavy sword. He's not like lifting it in front of him and waving it all around. He's dragging it behind him, but he's still doing it. So that's the other thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about doing it. I did pull just kind of an additional card for you, Scorpio, just to kind of get a little bit more context. And we have this Nine of Air reversed. Nine of Air is so much a card of anxiety, fear, worry, overwhelm. If you look at this imagery, it says it all. But if you see all of these swords in front of him, I kind of see it of just everything that's piling on top of him, that he's like, I need to get to this. This is freaking me out. This is stressing me out. This is another worry. What do? You just pick it up one by one and you address it one by one. You take the action piece by piece, step by step, one by one. You make the list, you knock it out step by step. You check it off, check it off, check it off. And as you start to kind of take away those things, right? I see this card sometimes as anxiety that is caused, not anxiety that's caused by your own doing, because it can definitely be external sources for sure, and things that are out of your control. But it's an anxiety where there is action to be taken. There are things that can be done to alleviate some of this, right? And again, it's not going to be, this doesn't mean it's going to be a perfectly comfortable experience, but it is something that you can take action on. You can, and again, I think this Ace of Air is saying exactly that. It's saying it's not going to be a completely pleasant experience, but you are able to approach it. We then have this Continue card for you, Scorpio, and we have the Wheel reversed. And the Wheel, it's kind of a creepy card, I'm not going to lie. I don't know why we have all these baby heads, but hey, that's my only complaint of this deck is this card. I'm always like, I don't know about this. But the Wheel is such a good card. It is such a positive card. It says luck, progress, and change. It does come up reversed, but I think that this is kind of a reminder to you that you get to wake up every day and decide how you want to position the day, how you can do things differently. You can literally have a day that like you can have a day that was just horrible, and you can wake up the next day and choose again. This is that Ace of Air card. I really want you to hold on to this Ace of Air. This is facing the truth. This is doing the hard things. This is doing the things that you need to do. I really think this card is inviting you in the month of October, Scorpio. And it's funny because this is your time, Scorpio. This is your season. We're getting into your season, right? And so take it back. Like, don't deal with any more of this BS, Scorpio. If there's any time for you to claim what you want, it's as you step into another year of life. What a time to actually clean up some of this mess, take some action, finally address those things, right? And no, again, it might not be comfortable, but it's going to be the best birthday gift to you, Scorpio, to finally just face these things, take care of these things, and move forward in your life. You deserve it. Scorpio, thank you so much for watching. Please comment below what resonated, what you're taking from this, and I will see you at the next reading. Hey there, Sagittarius. Here is your reading for October. Again, I'm giving the same spiel to every single sign. So if you've already watched your maybe moon and rising or, another part of your big three, just know that if you've heard this, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again, though. We have our spread for today. It's very quick and to the point because I want this message to be poignant and I want you to be able to really take something from this reading today. So we have 3 positions of cards. We have a stop position, a start position, and a continue position. So there's a card for each of those. And then I pulled a bonus card for you, Sagittarius. So let's get into it. Your bonus card today, Sagittarius, let's start with that. So we have the Fool reversed. Here's your message with this. It is better to try and try and try again, to try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. And I started this and I didn't finish it and I'm trying it again, or I'm picking it back up, or, this didn't work and now I'm trying it a little bit, whatever. It is better to stop, start, try and fail, begin again, whatever, than it is to do nothing. Do not be hard on yourself because you've tried again and again. You've tried different things. You've tried different ways. You're trying. And maybe if you're watching this, maybe you're actually currently not trying, right? Maybe you actually have kind of just taken a place of being a little bit stagnant and not really trying anything new or not really doing, anything different. And this is your sign that it's okay to try again. Doing is better than not doing. So I think sometimes we think things are only worth doing if we see it all the way to completion. And if we didn't see it all the way to completion, or if it wasn't completely successful, whatever that even means, right? That it was pointless. Your entire life is going to be things that you start and eventually end, or start and stop. And some will be longer than others, and some will have different results than others. But how do we actually define what is a success, what had meaning, what didn't, right? We're just on a journey. So just keep taking a step, just one step. That's it. One step. That's all you have to do. You don't need to know the whole path. This is something that keeps coming up for you, Sagittarius, is you do not need to know A to Z. You just need to know A to 8.1, right? You don't even need to know B yet. It's just that first step. And then you might decide, you know what, I don't want to keep walking down this path, or you might decide, I love this path, and you might kind of get down that rabbit hole, right? There's no right or wrong to any of it, but what is, I would maybe argue, wrong is just doing nothing. Do something. You're never going to regret trying something, okay? I think you guys need to hear that a lot. I want to say that to you again. There's something so beautiful about the Fool. I love this. This card is so pretty. Just, taking that leap and seeing what happens and knowing that you can always actually take another leap. At life, there's many twists and turns. So just keep going. Okay, Sagittarius, for your actual spread here, we have the stop, start, continue. Stop. We have this card of regret, the 5 of Cups. I think it is that clear to you, Sagittarius. Stop regretting. Stop thinking about what you did or didn't do. It doesn't matter. The present is what matters. What are you going to do with the present? For your start card, we have the Page of Wands reversed. I love this card as well. So pretty. Look at this. It's just like this little girl. She has this dress on. She is dancing and she's carrying this wand. Do you think she has any real inhibitions? No, right? Like that's the best thing about little kids is they just do what they want because they're not embarrassed. They don't have inhibitions. They haven't been scarred by the trauma yet of like being made fun of and all these different things, right? Like young children, obviously, as children get older, they experience that. But like a young child that hasn't been exposed to a lot of judgment or bullying or whatever, right? These things that essentially make us question if our actions are valid, right? The Fool and the Five of Cups. Before all of that hits us, we just do things. So I really think like it's coming up reverse for you, this Page of Wands, because I think you're like, but can I really do that? It's like, yes, Sagittarius, what else are you really supposed to do in this life? Just try things. There's no rule book. There's absolutely no rule book. And I think by over analyzing, you know, am I doing this right? Is this okay? Like you're kind of missing the opportunities. So in the month of October, you just explore, and not even just explore, but I think it's leaving the past in the past, starting again, and trying to remember what it was like before you had all of these other opinions. And if you have negative thoughts coming in, this is actually your continue card, the Strength card. Kind of this idea of overpowering. She has this look of like, yeah, you might be trying to overtake me, but I got you, right? She's like on top of this beast, essentially. I mean, it's a lion, but to me it looks like scarier than a lion, right? And this woman should not be able to overpower a lion. But that's essentially what you're doing with these thoughts, right? As these thoughts start to come in, you know, I would encourage you to be kind of observant of your thoughts in October as you're starting to work on these things and step into these new things that you're doing. And you're like, this is stupid. This won't work. Or, you know, this, I shouldn't do this or whatever, right? I would actually stop yourself whenever you're hesitating on action that you're taking. Ask yourself why and ask yourself, whose voice is this? That was one of the best things I've ever been taught or kind of told by someone is when you hear a negative voice, ask yourself, whose voice is this? Who's saying that? Like who can I picture actually saying this in my life, or who has said this to me, or where am I getting this idea from? And that might be a really kind of different thing for you, right? But I do think there is a lot of power in kind of just recognizing, okay, like I'm feeling this way because 10 years ago when I tried something similar and I wasn't successful, this person told me, well, of course not, or whatever, right? Or this person told me I wouldn't be successful. And just kind of recognizing, right, where things come from. Doesn't mean that you're not still going to have hesitations and all of these things. But I do think there's something about just reminding yourself in October, really, Sagittarius. I think the message for you was that Fool card. It's taking action, taking a step is better than nothing at all. And just starting out is all you have to do. And you will figure out the rest as you keep going. Sagittarius, so much love to you. Have a wonderful October. Comment below what resonated, what you're taking from this, and I will see you at the next reading. Bye. Hey there, Capricorn. Here is your reading for the month of October. Let's get into it. So I've explained this to every sign. So if you've already watched maybe your sun, moon, or rising of a different sign and you're hearing this again, I'm sorry. But I want to make sure everyone's clear on how we're doing this particular reading this time. So we're just doing a really simple reading that's called Stop, Start, Continue. So it's a very cut and dry, to the point type of reading. I love it for that very reason. I feel like the information that we receive is very clear, very pinpointed, and you can really take something from it and actually move forward in some action in the month of October from this reading. So let's get into it. Capricorn, like things you have really gotten to, we've talked about this before in past readings. I really think you're at a point in your life, Capricorn, where you are on the up and up. But I am sensing that there's still some hesitation, maybe some disbelief, maybe some lagging of you kind of accepting what your life is now, which might be kind of delaying things really growing even more than they already have. So let me show you what cards we have coming up, but that's kind of the general message that I'm seeing for you. So if we look at the stop category here, we have the Star reversed. Literally what this is saying to me is you are not recognizing that, really kind of like the fact that you have risen out of this bad situation. And so if you look here, the Star card, we kind of have this these like swampy dark waters that this beautiful figure is rising out of and like literally projecting light. This is one of my favorite cards. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is just kind of like a mesmerizing figure. Actually does remind me of a stripper. But I find strippers absolutely just like beautiful and mesmerizing to watch, right? And clearly that's why we have strippers, because people love to watch them. They are just beautiful and graceful and gorgeous and lovely to watch, right? So in all seriousness, like, I know that's kind of a funny analogy, but I think there is something here about empowerment. You know, again, to be able to get on a stage in front of people and be naked or close to naked, right? Takes confidence, takes empowerment, takes a sense of self. I think that is more what we're speaking to for you, Capricorn, is you are at this place where you've really laid yourself bare and really, I think, owned what you want in life, and are not afraid to say what you want in life and claim what you want in life. But again, I think this is coming up reversed for you, because it's like, I think you're still maybe thinking there's more to do, there's more to prove, or that you haven't really seen that you really are in this next chapter of your life. I pulled an additional card for the stop card just to kind of reaffirm what this was saying. And it did exactly that. It's the Six of Swords reversed. Again, the Six of Swords is kind of this finality of a decision, moving away. You know, if you look at this card, they are in a boat on their way to a faraway island. It is very much a decision of, you know, it's a decision where, you know, they're in this small boat, right? So it's probably not easy for them to just turn around, go against the current and row back. This is kind of a final decision. Also, you know, they haven't been over to this island. They don't know what's over there. So there's an element of risk. There's an element of putting yourself out there. But I think these cards again are coming up reversed for you, because I feel like you don't, and this is something again, Capricorn, I've kept feeling for you, is I feel like you're not getting that you really are in this different place in your life, and that things really have changed for you. In the start category, we have the Death card. And I think I want to be clear, this is not, typically the Death card is not ever really speaking about actual death. It's more thinking about or talking about or referring to kind of ends of cycles, you know, things having to die for things to be reborn, right? We know that things have to end for us to start a new chapter. I think this Death card is coming up in the start position for you because it is simply speaking about the acceptance of this new chapter of your life, but also, you know, kind of accepting what parts of you no longer exist. And can you actually truly let that go? Can you truly accept that certain parts of your life are over, and that you've actually chosen that, right? That you've actually, you wanted that. You wanted that, you wanted this transition in your life. You wanted this major change in your life. I'm actually wondering if you're kind of second guessing some of these decisions. And I just want to say, I don't actually think you should, because we have the start card here, or I'm sorry, the continue card, and we have the 8 of coins reversed. So this is just a card of like, keep on chugging, keep on going, keep on trucking. And really just, if you see this, he's doing something very intricate, but it's like, he knows what he's doing. It's the same thing for you, Capricorn. You know what you're doing. Just keep trusting it and doing it. You just got to keep doing it. I think it comes up reverse because it's like, no, you're not at the completed zone of this next chapter that you've started. You're kind of at the beginning of this next chapter, right? But that's why you're, I think, second guessing. Should I have closed that last chapter? Should I have really walked away? Should I have made that final decision? And the answer is absolutely yes, right? Like, again, if we look at this star card, it's really just this beautiful, like, it's this reclamation of self and what you're wanting, and exposing yourself, and being vulnerable and owning what you want in your life. It's absolutely a magnificent thing. However, it's scary when you shut the door on something, even if it wasn't working, right? Even if we know at the time, this is not working for me, this is not good for me. When we get into something new and it hasn't really started, we haven't started seeing all the results yet, or all the changes, it's easy to go backwards and be like, oh, well, maybe I should have stayed in that last chapter. I think these cards are here to simply say you can trust that things were meant to be done, and that you are in a new cycle, and let the things die that you wanted to leave in your life, like that you wanted to leave behind, right? Let them go. Let the natural cycle of things play out. And just know that you're just in the building stages right now. And so you're not going to see all these crazy successes left and right. Like, you're not going to see these monumental changes right away. That's not how it works. Things are a slow build. Again, I talk about this in a lot of readings. Things take time. I think we've kind of forgotten that with the quickness of technology and the internet, but things take time. Just keep building, just keep working, keep your eye on the prize. That is all you have to do in October, is just keep chugging along and trust that the decision that you made was the right one, even if maybe you need to look back and remind yourself why it was the right decision. But I'm telling you, the cards are telling you, this message is for you, my love. If you needed to hear this, you were meant to close that door, and you're just at the beginning of the new chapter, and it's going to feel a little shaky, and that's okay. So much love to you, Capricorn. Hang in there. Comment below what's landing and resonating with you in this reading, and I will see you at the next one. Bye. Hey there, Aquarius. How are you? So I'm just going to be totally honest with you. This has been my hardest reading to do. I have pulled cards for you multiple times. It has never felt right. It has never felt clear. This is probably my 10th attempt at your reading. Really, the message feels a bit stubborn, a bit like almost you might be fighting this message. Yeah, it's kind of an intense message, and I feel like it's a pretty blunt message. And I feel like maybe, yeah, there's just a little bit, the energy was, it's almost like the cards were kind of dodging giving the answer. Because again, the answer is pretty blunt, and, or the message is pretty blunt, and I'm just going to share it with you. I also want to say that I am an Aquarius rising, so this is a message for me too. So don't worry, we're in this together. And I totally, yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little stubborn towards this message, so I get if you do as well. But let's let's go for it. I'm going to share what the cards have to say. I did pull the most cards that I've pulled for any sign for you, because again, there's just kind of a lot going on here. I do think this is a really good, powerful message, but it's one that I think you might be feeling a little bit begrudging around. And again, I feel it as well. So, okay, I asked the cards in a stop, start, continue pattern. So there's a section of cards that are for the stop category, then the start category, then the continue category. And again, it's a very blunt reading. It's a very blunt style of reading cards, because again, it's very much just, here is the message. And this does not disappoint in that way. So, okay, let's look at stop here. And we have stop, we have Two of Cups reversed. Literally what this was saying to me is stop trying to get everyone on your side, not even on your side, on your team or on your wavelength, or like stop trying to kind of expect that everyone's going to have the perspective that you have, that you're going to be like in the zone with everyone, that you're going to be like vibing on, like you can kind of get everyone to like see the world the way that you see it. That's literally impossible. I know you know it. I know, like, logistically, as you're hearing this, you're like, yeah, of course. But I think there is such a desire of, but no, like, I know the right way, or I understand this more than other people, or like, I have this understanding that other people don't have, right? And the thing about that is it's just wasted energy, because there are going to be people that like totally get you on certain levels, and that's fine and that's great. And then there's going to be people that don't get you, and they have other people that get them or have the same, like that doesn't even matter. The message here is that is literally a waste of your time. That is a waste of your time. Which brings us to our start category. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords reversed, and then we have the Ten of Swords reversed, which is kind of funny that it's going in this like chronological order here. So we have this Nine of Swords, which is very much a card of anxiety. It is a card of, like, if you look at it, it's like their brain literally hurts. They are overwhelmed. They are just, you know, when your head just hurts so bad because there's just too much going on. I literally think that that is kind of what is boiling up inside of you with trying to get everybody on board. Trying to kind of like, I feel like you're kind of thinking that you have to have this like super deep connection with everyone, or like help everyone for things to be okay. And I actually think these cards are saying that it's quite literally just as easy as surrendering. Like, this is just like, I'm done. I can't do it. Picking your battles, choosing your battles. Again, there's a lot of stubborn energy here, but I'm feeling, I think what it is there's a need of a really big release of like, you do you, I do me. And maybe this is honestly with everyone in life. Like, I get that there might be some people that you're on the same page with, but you're still going to have differences, and that's fine. And it really, I think you are concerning yourself a bit too much with what other people are doing or how other people think or whatever, right? And it is a literal drain of your energy. It is causing this headache that can be alleviated if you're just like, this is just not, what if you just took a big nap and was like, I'm not worrying about it, right? And I honestly think you will have more energy, you will have more stamina, you will have more relaxation as you kind of let these expectations go. Then we have the continue here. It's interesting because we have the Hanged Man, which in this case, I think is speaking about viewing things from a different perspective. And that perspective just might be, I don't have to care so much. I need to care about the way that I show up in the world, the way that I affect others, and, you know, any immediate responsibilities that I have. But I do not need to worry about every other person's situation. It is, you know, I think, and that is really right. Like, there's also an enlightenment factor here. I'm kind of curious, like, if you start to practice this idea of not my problem, not my problem, not my problem, if there can be some relief, some change of perspective there. Wow, this feels better. This feels lighter. This feels more productive. As I'm kind of going through this reading for you, Aquarius, I'm feeling more relaxed. I was feeling really tense and like, oh my gosh, am I ever even going to get this reading for them? Because there were so many conflicting energies coming through. I couldn't even seem to like figure out what the message was. I will say it's hard for me sometimes to read for my big three. So I'm a Virgo. sun, a Taurus moon, and an Aquarius rising. So sometimes I have difficulty just because of that. But I mean, I'm telling you, this was like really kind of, it was a lot, right? And I think you're piling so much on top of you where you really have so much freedom on the other side of surrender. You have enlightenment, you have a change of perspective from honestly like kind of being in this no F's given sort of energy in October. I wonder what that looks like for you. This Ace of Cups reverse, it's kind of saying to me, you're carrying other people's things. Like you're when you're worrying about everybody else's life, then you're carrying all of their energy as well, which first off is really not your right? You shouldn't be doing that. And second off, it's just way too much. I think it's reverse. It's like pour that out. You only need to be filling with what you have consent to be filling, right? Like yes, if somebody is confiding in you, that that's different, but kind of interjecting yourself. Here's the thing, Aquarius, I know I'm kind of going hard on you guys right now, and again, I'm Aquarius rising, so I'm also talking to me. I know that you do it because you want to help. It's out of love, it's out of concern. But if it hasn't been working and all it's doing is exhausting you and it's not really making any difference for anyone else, is this a time to maybe go, what would happen if I, again, did things differently? I think this is an invitation to do things differently. We also have the Hierophant here, which is all about kind of the typical ways of doing things, and then also an invitation to do things kind of to redefine how things systematically work in your life and to maybe redefine how you approach things. I really think here we have a huge, big perspective shift in the month of October. What would it be like to not interject and just to be an observer, and to not feel that you have to make deep connections with people and help people and like always be there for people? That will come naturally, right? What is it like to maybe kind of just step away for a little bit? Yeah. I I really think you're gonna catch yourself in situations where you start to kind of meddle and get involved. That's where maybe in the month of October you get to practice stopping that. I think you're going to regain a lot of energy. Again, this was a pretty high intensity reading. This felt pretty heavy. I really feel you're ready, right? Like you're ready to be done. This isn't anything. I don't think this message is really going to shock you. I think you're kind of ready to stop feeling like you're constantly needing to take on other people's emotions and situations and problems. And what would that look like if, there's a difference between I support you and I'm going to like get completely involved in this situation with you. Does that make sense? Aquarius, sending you all the love. Again, totally working through this with you. I get it. And please comment below kind of what you're getting from this and what you're going to take from this into the month of October. So much love to you. I will talk to you soon. Okay, Pisces, last but not least, let's get into your reading for October. So Pisces, the way that we're doing this, if you haven't watched any other signs, I just want to let you know that we're using a really short and sweet spread for this particular reading for October. It is a stop, start, continue spread. So basically pulling cards for each of those categories. It's going to give you straight to the point guidance as we go into October. So let's get into it. Pisces, really interesting. On your stop section, we have two cards. We have the Five of Wands upright, and then we have the Five of Discs reversed. What this said to me immediately was stop having your plan be put out fires as you go. Stop getting to a desperate place to find a solution. Also, there might be a need for simplifying. I feel like there might be a lot of complication going on. Kind of just like too many hands in the pot. You're trying to maybe do too many things, or you're obligated to too many things. or maybe you're just kind of trying to like overhaul way too many things in your life right now. It might just need to be a step-by-step sort of deal. But I really think this is calling for a little bit of more structure, stability, planning, and not just approaching things as they come. How can you kind of get ahead of things? And in order to do that, again, it might really be, I think, with this Five of Discs reversed, it's looking, I think there might be a little bit of this of unnecessary suffering where you do have resources and help around you that you're simply not saying yes to, you're simply not utilizing. There's also, again, this Five of Wands. It's this overcomplication of maybe just having simply too many things going on, really just needing to pick a few areas of focus. This might actually mean that in October, you only have one area of focus. So maybe in October, it's I'm going to get focused on getting my house organized. And then in, November, I can focus on getting my budget set up. And then December, I can focus on, meal prepping, whatever it might be. I think you're trying to do all of it now. And that's way too many big life kind of changes, right? Because those are all big things. If if your house is really disorganized and cluttered and you need to do that, and if your budget is, really needing some attention, and if you want to start meal prepping, those are big projects. There's nothing wrong with breaking it down a little bit. And in fact, I think it'll be more successful if you do that, right? It's funny, I just actually saw a reading today from a reader on Instagram that said that very thing. If things are slow to start, it actually probably means that you have a better chance of it lasting long term. So if you're really building things with a strong foundation and you're doing things essentially like the right way, right? It's like, if you were to build a house in a day, it might be like, is this really that stable? Like we want construction to take a while, right? Because we want to make sure everything is safe and sound. That's interesting. Speaking of the stability structure, getting things in place, making sure you have that solid foundation to build off of. Literally, your start card is Four of Wands, which is very much building that stability in your life, simplifying, and really, again, just doing the things that you need to do so that you have some guarantees in your life, so that things are stable, right? So what do you need to do to get yourself financially stable, emotionally stable, physically stable? What are the things that you need to have in place? And again, not overcomplicating. So maybe it's like, if you really want to start bringing physical activity into your life, don't set yourself up for failure with, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. Is it maybe that you're just going to go 2 days a week? Because that's going to actually probably allow you to be more successful with that. But it would be better for you to stick to a consecutive and consistent 2 days a week than it would saying 7 days and you never end up doing that, because that's just like simply too much. And you're kind of making life harder on yourself than it needs to be, right? But then also what do you need to get set up? Like, are you maybe, I don't know why this is coming up, but are you constantly late on certain bills and you just need to put it on auto pay, right? Or you just need to put it in your phone as a reminder? I feel like there's simple things that can help you out that you just haven't really taken the time to do. I think in October, it's time to get organized. It's time to get those things working. And then we have this continue, we have the Justice reverse. So it's kind of this idea of like, some things are in your control and some are not, and knowing the difference. Okay. So Pisces, I think you're just so worried about everything. Whereas I would actually kind of take an inventory of, okay, like what can I actually control, fix, do something about? So I know, like, I'm always stressed out because I always pay my cable bill late and then I get a fine and blah, 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 blah. Well, I can put that on auto pay. I can change that. But maybe what I can't change is that my work schedule keeps changing. My work schedule keeps changing, but what can I do to maybe make that easier for me, right? What can I do to help myself feel supported? Is it that, I know no matter what my work schedule is, I always have Saturday off, so I can take Saturdays to grocery shop and plan my meals. Or, maybe there's really no regularity at all in your schedule. So you just know that you know, you have to look at your week from week and decide when you're going to get all of your like chores and all of your errands done, right? I mean, you kind of just have to work with the chaos a little bit and know that, like, there's, again, things that are out of your control, but that's when we go back to what is in your control. What can you actually, again, create structure around, create systems, get organized in the month of October. Help yourself out a little bit, Pisces. Put some things in your calendar, get some things on auto pay, you know, get some things, maybe prep some meals, put them in the freezer for busy days. This is going to be obviously personal and up to you, but what are those things that you can do to help yourself out in the month of October? And then not just for the month of October, like getting yourself set up, build the structure in the month of October so you can go into this new year feeling like you are stable and set up for success. Okay. Because we can't address the new year January 1. We got to kind of get that going now, right? And thinking about, how am I going to get myself in a good routine and in a good place and set myself up with some things to help myself, knowing, again, there's still going to be things that come up and things that are not in my control, but what is in my control? Pisces, love you so much. Hang in there. Comment below what you're taking from this reading, and I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that your reading resonated with you. Again, feel free to watch your sun, moon, and rising sign. Some people just watch their sun. Some people just watch their rising, their moon. I believe there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's really whatever you feel is going to be most supportive to you. I really just want you to get a very clear message from these and not have too much information, right? Because if you have too much information, you can't really take any action steps. But if you really just walk away with one key thing from these readings, that's my goal for you. Again, please comment below how this resonated, you know, what you're taking from this, what you're going to focus on in October. I love to just be able to cheer you on and really see what you took from this reading. So again, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share, all of the things. I super appreciate it as this channel grows, and I will be creating more content. I plan to do some pick a pile readings and some more fun readings in between our monthly readings for the astrological signs. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.